Hello, and welcome back to the Masonic Roundtable, a weekly program where Masons from around the world get together to talk about Masonic news and opinions in a friendly and social manner. The thoughts and opinions expressed here are solely the opinions of the participants and do not represent any Grand Lodge statements or positions. Make sure you keep your conversations open for the public and on the level. To interact with us, send questions and comments to our Twitter page at Mason Roundtable or on the Facebook event page for episode 147, Resolutions Part 3. Part 3. Let's see. As for introductions, my name is John Ruark, past master of the Patriot Lodge, number 1957, in Fairfax, Virginia. I'll hand it off to Juan for his introduction.
Hello, everybody. Juan Sepulveda of the Winding Stairs Freemasonry Podcast and a brother from Orange Blossom Lodge, number 80, in Kissimmee, Florida.
Thank you, Juan. Jason Richards.
Hey everybody, Jason Richards, Worshipful Master of Acacia Lodge number 16 in good old Clifton, Virginia.
And you're still not tired of saying that.
I won't be tired of saying that for the next month or two. We'll see.
At least until your first meeting. And last but not least,
week.
Yeah. Mike the intern. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas and all that.
Oh, yeah. To you too as well.
All right, let's get business out of the way as usual. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Edgar Alejandro of MasonicRevival.com. Now, if you've not been there yet, go to it anyway, because Christmas is past. You're probably not going to get your present by then, but there's still many other holidays coming up to get some great Masonic swag. In fact, Jason, I heard, got some swag from Masonic Revival for Christmas as well. Is that true?
Yes, Santa was apparently thought that I was very good this year. I don't know why. And under the tree, I found this lovely box by Masonic Revival, and absolutely gorgeous. And the box in itself, in and of itself, was a great gift. But when I opened it up, I saw one of Edgar Gonzalez's limited edition timepieces, and the watch is absolutely incredible. And I told the guys online, I know we plug his stuff a lot, but we do it because the stuff that Edgar creates is just outstanding when it comes to craftsmanship and quality, and for the price especially. Things like this I could easily see going for, $150, $200. And, he had a promotion on his website. This was about $80. It might be back up to $100 now. I'm not sure. And he only had 5 of each kind of watch with each kind of band printed for the holidays. So go and check it out. The watch is great. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to wearing it out over the next year.
Cool. And if you want to get a discount at checkout, use promo code TMR at MasonicRevival.com to get free shipping. So now that you have a watch, Jason, isn't it about time for a Masonic Revival?
Yes, it is, John.
All right, let's get into Masonic news. First and foremost, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah was on Christmas Eve this year. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Festive.
Technically, Hanukkah started on Christmas Eve this year.
That's what I said.
You said Hanukkah was on Christmas Eve this year. Big difference.
It started. Thank you. It's also the third day of Christmas, depending on which interpretation. So get your French hens. But as of recording right now, it's also St. John the Evangelist Day. That's right, one of the 2 big Masonic holidays where we revere and celebrate the Saints John. As a reminder, this one is St. John the Evangelist on December 27th every year, where we...
because you don't want to get baptized in December.
That's a good way to remember it. I never thought about that before.
St. John the Baptist is in the spring. Or in June, I guess.
That's cool. That's really smart. So that also means in some jurisdictions that the change of command has officially taken place, where, even though you may be elected Worshipful Master, you're not installed on or after St. John's Day. So for all the new officers of this year coming up, congratulations. Do a good job. Don't screw up like Jason. And he hasn't even started yet.
I'm setting the bar low for everyone.
I'm sure you'll do fine. Let's see. And then for some hot off the press stuff, I saw this come across my RSS feeds yesterday, I believe, where there was a...
Carrie Fisher passed away.
Oh, that is true. That's not really Masonic news, but I'll take it. I'll allow it.
Oh, you weren't going to talk about that?
No,
I'm sorry.
not Masonic news, but there you go. Godspeed for our fair princess. Now, getting the nerd stuff out of the way, because Nick's not here. The other thing I wanted to mention was on terramasonica.com, which, as we've mentioned before, is the upcoming video, which documents 80 lodges around the world. This brother has finally released the monthly date. They said it would be sometime in 2017. Now we know for sure. The good news is the movie will be available mid-January on video on demand and DVD and pre-order. So stay tuned to Terra Masonica. That's TERRAMASONICA.com, where he'll be posting little graphics and updates when you can find it, stream it, and pay for it. So just the trailers themselves have been fantastic, where he's reaching into areas of the world that are far beyond the reach of what any of us I know will be able to do, as well as to see, as Nick says, to get out of the provincial masonry, to see what masonry is really like in not only other jurisdictions, but around the world, which actually makes this universal brotherhood so great. So stay tuned to Terra Masonica around the world in 80 lodges in mid-January for a really cool documentary. Now that's all I've got. Did we have some Masonic Monday question on Tuesday? I don't believe we did.
No, I've got nothing from Nick. I just checked again. So
I think Nick ate too many figgy puddings and is now stuck somewhere to not join us. So let's skip over that part of the show and go right into the main topic, which is New Year's resolutions, part 3. That's right. We've been doing this for 3 New Year's. We've been on the air for just almost 2 full years.
Almost 3 full years.
Almost 3 full years. Holy smokes. So I guess, yeah. Man, time flies when you're having fun. And that we are. So let's start off by asking everyone the first question. Did you stick to your resolutions that you made back at this time last year? Did you stick to your 2016 resolutions? And we'll start with Juan, Mr. Introspective himself. How did you do?
Well, I know that I haven't stuck with them. It's a part of my yearly tradition. I would be disingenuous if I were to commit and follow through all the way the year. But I know that it's an ebb and flow with me. Some of the things that I want to do better, I do improve upon them. And as humans, we kind of falter a little bit, but then get back on track. So I can't remember all of the resolutions that I made. I know that I wanted to eat better. That one I kind of failed at. Sleep, have better sleep. I'm sucking terribly at that. So the overall answer is no, I did not stick to my yearly resolutions.
Okay. Jason, how about you? How'd you do?
I did okay on some of them, and kind of fell face first in the dirt on one of them. So back last year, actually for the past 2 years, I've written up a piece on the Midnight Freemasons about my resolutions called Virtuous Resolutions, and I didn't do it this year because I suck. But last year, well, the year before last, I started off looking at the 4 cardinal virtues. So temperance, fortitude, prudence, and justice, and how I would apply those to the fraternity, and talked quite a bit about that in our resolutions part 1 episode. last year, I decided to take a look at the 3 theological virtues of the fraternity, being faith, hope, and charity. Faith being that I wanted to devote dedicated time to the improvement of my own spiritual health. Hope being trying to translate my own desires for the future state of the fraternity into a plan as master of the lodge. And then charity, simply to endeavor to do good unto all and love everyone as best as possible. And I think the latter two, hope and charity, I actually did quite well. As far as hope is concerned, I'm very interested in a fraternity that values, education just as much as it values brotherhood. So, as part of my plan for the lodge, we have Masonic education as a part of every meeting. Twice. We're having an open program, a big program at dinner for every single stated, as much as I can at least. And then when we go up to the business meeting, we're going to do another educational program, albeit one that's a bit briefer so as not to impose too much on the time of the brethren during the business meeting. So that's something that's really important to me. Charity is something that's also very important to me. So one of the things that I tried to do was make a budget and have the lodge stick to the budget, but I included kind of a dedicated charity funding line in there. And we've already had opportunities to use that funding line. So I'm really glad that we set that money aside so that we can help out our brethren. And then, unfortunately, as far as devoting dedicated time to the improvement of my own spiritual health, that's just something I kind of fell flat on. I did not take the time to refresh myself mentally. I didn't take the time to try to answer some of the hard questions I've been asking myself about my own personal faith. And so that's probably going to carry over to this next year on trying to find some answers to the hard questions that I'm asking.
I know a guy. I'll be glad to help. All right, Mike, since you weren't here this time last year, let's add, but we did talk about you. I went back and listened to episode 99, and we actually mentioned you as an incoming entered apprentice.
Right.
Ooh.
So this time last year, you were not even a first degree Mason. So congratulations on how far you've come this year, Masonic.
You were a twinkle in your worshipful master's eye.
Tell us a little bit about how did you do with your resolutions from last year?
For the most part, most of my resolutions didn't work out. I didn't keep my health regimen that I'm actually planning to do again next year. And keeping a journal. I mean, I have one. I've been writing in it, but not anywhere near the way I want to. So, yeah. But that's been good. And but Masonically, yeah, I've made a lot of changes in my life that way. So.
Well, there you go. Was the resolution you didn't know you had?
That's right.
But in all seriousness, you did mention that before too, that you found, I think it was a comment you added in one of the previous episodes, where you got what you expected you were getting into Masonry, but you found so much more. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yeah. I found, it was amazing the difference that Masonry was compared to what I thought it was going to be.
Very cool. Yeah. Let's see. As for me, while I did take a similar approach in 2015 as Jason, I broke mine out to strength, wisdom, and beauty. In 2016, I did commit to only one, and that was to be more mindful, because it was kind of the buzzword at the end of the last year, and tried to dabble with meditation. So of which did I? Yes. I've become more deliberate in a lot of my actions. So, mindfulness as a kind of new agey kind of concept is, the idea of stopping to reflect before you do things, really focus spend a lot of time focusing on the task at hand and not be distracted. And if that means you have to rearrange your workspace or anything like that, then so be it. So when I'm try to, I wouldn't say compartmentalize, but when I work on something, I try to only work on that one thing and remove all distractions. So I've made some growth in that area, and dabble with a little bit of meditation. I still need to commit to it to really clear my monkey mind. I'm a guy that has like 1,000 thoughts a minute going on. Wouldn't this be cool? What if I change this? I'm worried about this, and in a good way. I mean, it's not burdensome, but I know that it would help. I mean, studies have been shown it would help to clear that out. So I'm going to continue to work on that from a meditative standpoint. Block off some time to continue that in 2017. So now the next question going around is, what are your 2017 resolutions? Do you want to continue on with where you left off with 2016, or do you have some new ones? So we'll go around again and start with one.
Well, I do remember from the last resolutions, there were 2 things that I mentioned, and I still want to work on those. And one was to organize my my business better. This is one thing that relates to what I have been thinking for 2017. And there are 2 steps in that. Basically, it's 2 resolutions with the same goal. Number 1, I want to close open loops. One thing that adds undue stress to my life is I'm surrounded by incompletes. And as an artist, I get inspired to do new things. Just like you mentioned, keeping that focus on one thing is so essential. And here I find myself getting distracted and starting a lot of things and not finishing everything. So the first step, I want to close a lot of open loops. I have commitments that I've made that I want to get out of my plate and do good on my word. And once that is done, the second step is to be more essential in my progress. I think I'm committed to a lot of things, and I need to be more precise and more single focused. And for those of you who also need help in this regard, I recommend a book called Essentialism. And it's eye-opening because it helps you make peace with the decisions that you have to make. There you go. Thank you so much. Greg, how would you pronounce the last name? McCown?
Greg McCowan? I don't know.
McCowan?
He's not a cow.
MCK. Cowan. MCKEOWN. McCown. Very good book. It's an easy read. Is not too long, but essentially helps you narrow your focus and make sure that you're aware of the opportunity cost of things. So that's my resolution for 2017, to be more essential in my endeavors.
Very cool. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Jason Richards.
All right. So I'm going to start off with some resolutions that I've come up with that will hopefully govern how I work in the lodge, and then I'll dive off into some personal ones. Looking at how I'd like to structure the lodge this year, I'm going to focus on 3 more tenets of Freemasonry: brotherly love, relief, and truth, which are very close to the 3 theological virtues of faith, hope, and charity. But really, what I want to do as far as my role as worshipful master is concerned this year is I want to focus on the people in the lodge. I want to make sure that I am tending to their needs as best I can, and focusing on them, their needs, and caring for the brethren in the lodge. It starts off with brotherly love, just trying to be open and accepting and caring for every single brother who walks through that door this year. And that's going to be my goal, is to try to get around and say hi to everybody that I can every single meeting to see how they're doing. And I try to call some of the brethren who don't get out much to let them know that, you know, there's someone in Lodge who is still thinking about them and wishing them well. As far as relief is concerned, I think you know, charity is a natural extension of the fraternity's aims to take good men and make them better. And while, you know, charity is charitous giving, at least, is not necessarily a tenet of Freemasonry, although some may want you to think it is. I do think it's a natural extension of who we are. So I want to focus on giving to those who need it. And we've already had a couple situations come up where we have the opportunity to do some giving, which is awesome. And then the truth is really about openness and honesty and transparency in the lodge. So I want to be as transparent as possible, be as open as possible to all the brethren. And there are already situations cropping up where I will have the opportunity to exercise that transparency. So again, trying to make the lodge a safe place for everybody to come in and spend time together. And I think by focusing on the people with a little bit of Masonic education thrown in for good measure, I think we'll have a really good year. And so those are really my 3 resolutions as they pertain to the Masonic fraternity and Acacia Lodge. Specifically, moving on into some personal resolutions. You know, one, as I mentioned earlier, I'd like to carry the faith resolution over to this year. I've been asking myself a lot of hard questions about the faith that I've basically been spoon-fed for most of my life. And I'm realizing very quickly that I don't have hardly any of the answers. And so that's a scary place for me. And it's just hard, and I'm just trying to have the courage to keep looking and keep asking those questions, the answers to which I don't know if I'll ever find. As a part of that, you know, I want to extend things into, or extend my resolutions into my family, because my family's growing. We are inside like the 4-week mark of Carrie's due date, my wife's due date. So that's pretty exciting and scary, but I realize that they're going to need a lot more of my time, and Masonry, you know, requires a lot of time. So I'm really trying to make sure that I just have the courage to say no, and the ability to say no and prioritize according to how my family best needs me. You know, it's hard being worshipful master and then dealing with a newborn, which is something that no one on the show has ever had to do. John, I do not plan to deliver my newborn in the bathtub, so at least, you know, I'm starting on a higher rung there. But
True story.
yes, true story for another time. But I need to give myself the courage and the latitude to say, you know what, I have a very, very well-oiled officer line behind me. And if I have to go away or can't show up to this particular night or this particular event because my wife and my son need me, then that will be okay. And that gets back into the transparency and the communication aspect of truth. And saying, look, guys, I am not going to be there. I need, you know, you to take point or you to take point, and we will get through this together. And this is something that all the officers in Acacia know. It's making me a little nervous.
As long as you use the concept of essentialism.
Yes, there we go.
We'll be focusing on the yes rather than worrying about saying no. Actually heard a good corollary to that it's like one of the tips is, if you wouldn't say heck yes to something,
Exactly.
It's not just would you like it, would you like to do it, sorta. If you wouldn't say absolutely, that's it. I think it's a Warren Buffett thing, actually. He said another version I heard is write down 25 things that you want to do in the next 6 months, and then delete everything 24 down. Right? Because why are you focusing on anything that's not your top priority? It's like,
Well, his position is actually a little bit more aggressive than that. You write the 25, you pick the 2 that you're going to focus on, and the other 23 you are to avoid at all cost. Because even though there are things that you want or you might like, you might enjoy, might value, while you're focusing on the top 2, their purpose is only to distract you from those 2.
But I can't stop going to work.
You could.
or you could.
Donnie, I'm becoming a stay-at-home dad. Sorry.
Need a sugar mama. Mike.
So, mostly mine was picked out a little bit today, sitting down thinking about this. But what I want to do, starting off, being the first-time lodge education officer and having just gotten my Master Mason this year, I want to improve the quality of education that's available at my lodge. I want to start by making sure that I can get some more education into each meeting. Plus, I'm trying to expand the lodge's library.
That's cool.
And natural thing to want to do as a new Master Mason as it is improve my ritual work, which obviously there's a lot to go there yet, since I haven't done much. Now for the main areas of my own life, though, outside of Masonry, I'm back to beginning a new health regimen because I need to lose the weight that I regained over the last year. I need to do it so I can get my blood pressure and diabetes under control again. And honestly, I'll be applying a lot of methods that I learned through Freemasonry, especially because of applied Freemasonry, to help me achieve those goals. And that would be, using my 24-inch gauge and common gavel to better schedule my time for my exercising and sleep and my diet and my healthy meals, that kind of stuff. And then obviously the common gavel is just to chip away at that a little at a time rather than trying to make it happen quickly. That's usually the big thing that's why diets never work. You want them to happen within 3 months or something. This is something I just want to lose, something like maybe 25 pounds this year, not 60 or 80, so. And in order to better keep track of what I'm doing here, what I want to do is actually increase my writing in my journal to include the progress on those areas rather than just my daily experiences. But I actually have to kick into that writing my journal some more, though. And that's really just to keep my mind flowing and practicing that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Very good. Noble causes.
Yeah, brother, I wanted to say that I just heard on I can't remember who it was, but it was a business owner. He was talking about his journal writing, and that when he began, he was very hard on himself because he wasn't writing, page after page of documentation of how his life was going or anything like that. And he realized that the most effective move that he did to become a consistent writer was that, of course, eliminating all the obstacles between you and the pen. But second, that even if it's just a word, that's enough, but building that consistency is the first step. John, if you remember what these are called, I'm trying to think on the power of habit.
Yeah. They're not triggers. You want to find the cue that will get you writing at a consistent time. So if, when I step out of the shower, grab my book and write, right? And because you're always going to have that cue, right? That's part of the power of habit and changing habits. We talked a little bit about that on the show. It's hard to create a new habit, but it's easy to change habits you already have. So find something you can tie together. So that's, again, if you know you're going to step in the shower in the morning, then place your journal right there on your bathroom sink. Just an example. So when I hopefully maybe not when you're wet, but maybe before you get to the shower, write down that word, right? It can just be that word. And I actually read something recently too, another little psychological thing, that 66 days is the magical number of sticking to a habit. If you can create a habit, even as minor as it is, then in 66 days, then it'll more than likely stick. That seems to be the average number.
You read that on Charles Duhigg's second book, Faster, Stronger.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yes. Also a good book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Now that we've got a new person joining our squad here, let's cut it over to Robert Johnson. And I'm going to ask you, Robert, both of the questions. And the first is, how well did you do on last year's resolutions? And then the second question is, what are your 2017 resolutions?
All right, so first of all, new headphones in the mobile command. Can you hear me okay?
Not really.
Okay.
If you want to switch out, or go ahead.
How about this? Does this work?
It's better.
It's better. How about come back to me?
Okay. Nothing like a live broadcast, but I do thank you for hopping in the car and joining us. I'll go to me then. I'll cut to me then. So for 2017, I've got a few, but they build on some of the mindfulness that we talked about in 2016. Continue on with 2017 deliberate actions, right? I want to do less deliberately, taking some cues from the Essentialism. So thank you, Juan, for turning me on to that book. I started reading it that day after we talked, and as part of that is to start cutting back. And so that means saying no to some things that I would always take for granted. So one of them is I'm already stepping back from lodge commitments. It helps that I'm not an officer in some of my lodges. I'm still an officer in some other ones, but they only meet about once a quarter. So that's a little bit more manageable. And, Nick mentioned that last year that he had done that, and it's worked out pretty well for him. But for the things that I do choose, I have the choice, which is the best part of that. I have the choice. When I'm there, I'm going to be there and stay focused, like we talked about earlier. Also, coincidentally, I should have listened to Juan a year ago, because he mentioned in episode 99 about the 5-minute journal. And just this week, I said, what can I do to just quickly, because I'm a distracted kind of guy. What can I do to quickly journal the things that I want to get out? And those same questions from the 5-minute journal, I've already started working on that. Very easy, very quick. It actually takes less than 5 minutes because it's the same questions every day. Mm-hmm. I've actually not bought the book. I just went ahead and wrote those questions down. They show you the questions on their website.
Get the app.
Oh, they have an app too. Even better.
Yeah.
But
and I think it's either free or just $1 or $2.
That's not too bad at all. But I just threw a Google Doc together, put the questions in there, and it's kind of helped, which also builds on something that RJ said. I listened to you guys. RJ talked about positive affirmations, right? Starting or ending the day with kind of, these things that we tell ourselves that will help us get a little bit more inspired and not beat ourselves up so much. Have an affirmation that says, I am a good person. I am, the person I want to be. I am working harder towards my goals. And by the act of saying it and writing it down, there's a little bit of alchemy done there where you actually create that. Robert?
Yeah, no. So I got the old headphones back in. I hope it works. No matter how silly you think it is to sit there and lay in your bed and say something, or look at yourself in the mirror and say it, or driving in your car and say out loud, I'm going to get the girl, I'm going to get the job, whatever it is, no matter how silly it is, guys, do it. Just do it. Trust me.
It works. It really does. It's the law of positive attraction. Check it out. Go Google it. Let's see. And then the last thing is we talked about especially our episode on balance, about our time maps, how we kind of built off of what Benjamin Franklin had done with his time map of the day. I've taken a spreadsheet and kind of laid out my time map. I need to go back and make sure it's accurate, because writing what you want it to be and what it actually is, if it's not useful, if it's not reality, then we need to go back and fix it. So I'm going to go back and revisit my time map and try to reallocate those blocks that we have to make sure that it's for the purpose of, again, essentialism, the things I want to focus on and not distractions.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a color palette too, because you're one wrong move or one flashlight away from a seizure with that one.
So even the colorblind host can tell it's a little loud. Actually, I'll take the color palette. I really will. That's what I've got. Now, RJ, back to you. How did 2016 resolutions work out, and how's 2017 going to look?
2016 outlook, one of my personal goals was I was going to stop biting my nails again. And I did it. I did it again. So, I mean, I haven't bit my nails. Yeah, it's great. I'm excited. It's like these little things, these little chips, right? You start to see the progress, and you can build on those. It gives you the motivation, the steam to keep moving forward. So, of course, like that happened like probably 2 months after we did the episode. Masonically, at that time, I was just being installed as secretary. Some of my goals were like, get to learn that position and be the best secretary and make these positive changes, get the minutes sent out electronically, and do all these things. And I think it really kind of hit on all cylinders on those things. But looking back, I have a disappointment in that I feel like maybe those goals weren't hard enough to aspire to, or perhaps my goals were to set things in the 21st century, because I feel like a lot of the things that a secretary does is kind of not the greatest. They're antiquated methods, so maybe just modernizing them was my goal, but because I'm a modern person, it was easier. And so I think I feel a little bit of maybe disappointment in that I accomplished that all too quick. I should have set loftier goals. But I also have disappointments in things like writing. I didn't write as much as I wanted to last year. I still don't write as much as I want to. I sat down today to pen something for Midnight Freemasons, and I ended up just putting together some quick facts or whatever with a paragraph above and below as filler, really, because I didn't have any articles to use. But that's the kind of stuff that I felt I had failures on. I had a lot of successes too, but we always focus on those failures. But that's what makes us better, stronger, faster, right? Then, so new goals moving forward. Obviously, a lot of people know I became a district deputy grand master. So I've got 7 lodges that I help, I facilitate, I'm there for. My goals for that is to continue to just be a servant leader, to be there for me, to be there, for them, rather, when they need something, that they don't know how to do something, or if they need to be able to get some answers on something, or maybe they're having trouble in a lodge. Like, I want to be able to mediate their issues. I want to be able to handle things when they don't know how to do them. And hopefully I can do that in a meaningful way. And I want to be able to change the mindset about the district deputy grand master as, so many lodges think of DDGM or right worshipfuls as Grand Lodge police officers. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And I'm reporting this to the Grand Master and so on and so forth. I would much rather be the guy who says, how can I help you do this and that? And obviously taking a page out of Mike Shirley's book, just to be there. And how the first thing I want to ask, I just want to have like kind of the strength and wherewithal to be able to do that. And there are times when I can get hot-headed and I can have a quick wit and rip on somebody really fast for doing something stupid. And I want to make sure I can tame that and be more understanding of a person, try to be a little bit more compassionate. Because my wife knows, I'm not going to swear on the show, but I can be an a-hole, like a lot. So, and that just comes because I'm not always the most, some people say I'm like socially inept because I can be crass, like to people's faces and just give an opinion without softening things. So I need to work on that.
We still love you.
And so this is my problems, right? So these are things that I want to work on, and these are my hopes. You know, and really, the resolution is something that these are like they're wishes. They're nothing more than wishes that we are going to work on. It's like a budget. You showed your really ugly time schedule, John. Mine looks the same. But you talked about going back to revisit it if we need to look at it and maybe revisit it and see if it's still accurate. But it doesn't have to be like completely accurate, right? Because it's like a budget. A budget is a guideline. $5 over, $5 under, who cares? You see the plan, you know where you should be, and hopefully that's enough to keep you on track. So in that sense, I need to also kind of go back and look at it. I've gotten a new job since the last time I put out my 24 calendar. My schedule hasn't really changed, however. But again, like I'm not working for Iron Mike magazine anymore, so I can take that off. But that's not like that time just comes back to me. I have to reinvest that time. And of course, it's either going to be in family or masonry. And a lot of times it ends up being masonry because Grand Lodge is demanding of time. You know, like if I get an email from anybody, I'm mandated to return that email in 24 hours or less. So like I have real goals that I have to set with them and expectations. And so, you know, time management is another big resolution of this year moving forward. That's my stuff.
Very
I
cool.
really like your analogy of the budget. And one thing that I wanted to mention, like budgeting is very difficult, especially if you've never done it before or if you've don't have a lot of experience with it. Because how much money do you set aside for X or Y?
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for time.
It's so heavy on self-sacrifice. I mean, like for nobody wants to say, crap, I can't buy the $5 coffee on Monday morning. Nobody wants to do that. Number one, yeah, maybe the coffee's not that great, but you know, this coffee is part of your routine. And then you got to break a routine. And similarly, like with time, like Juan is somebody who I envy in his ability to separate his interests and to really hone in on what he values most and like family. There are days where I have texted Juan or I've messaged Juan or I've emailed him, and in my head I'm like, where the hell is Juan? I'm trying to get a hold of Juan. I need Juan right now. And then in my head I'm like, RJ, dude, like Juan's number one priority is family. He's probably doing something amazing with his kids and his wife. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, not everybody neglects their family like I do. So yeah, self-sacrifice, huge. It's hard, but it all boils down to, you know, what's going to be better for you and your family.
Very good. All right, let's start wrapping it up with final thoughts for any last things we didn't get out that we wanted to. So let's show 2016 who's boss and start with Mike the intern.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that I've just got to figure a better way of spending my time with my wife and the dogs, and so that I can avoid getting into trouble because I've been spending too much time with masonry. Because there's been a few weeks lately that I've had to be told, "Wait a minute, I thought this was only a couple times a month."
How true. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The struggle is real.
That's it.
That's another thing you found out about masonry after you joined.
That's it. Yeah, it's a couple times a month. Never had a dinner at home since 1999.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.
I wanted to go back to one of the episodes that I did a long time ago on the Winding Stairs, where I called it New Year's Revolutions. And I did so intentionally because you're going around one more time. Here you have an opportunity to look back. Okay, what did I commit to doing? Did I really do better? And it's a cycle that you'll repeat over and over again. But knowing that you're a wise person, but a person nonetheless, you will have some faults and you won't complete all the things that you said you wanted to do, but you will be smarter for it. So now you know that committing to losing 3 pounds a week, it's unrealistic, unsustainable, hurtful. And you then commit to maybe losing 1 pound a week, which is something that's a little bit more attainable and sustainable. For me, I have attained a little bit more organization in my business. It's doing better. I have more clarity on the end goal for the different ventures that I'm in. And that is something that came at the cost of, hitting my head against the wall, losing opportunities, messing up on different things. So on this new revolution, this new cycle around the sun, I am revisiting some of these prior commitments, but with a renewed sense of commitment and understanding of what the obstacles that lie ahead are. So I wish for the brothers that listen to this, up for failing, for past failures or for not completing things. Know that this is the cycle that everybody goes through, but just make a commitment to not fall on the same hole more than once. Just like with the budget that Brother Robert was talking about, how do you think forecasting people in finance, how do you think they do it? They make a forecast, screw it up the first time, see that they were too optimistic, figure out who, contributed to the failure, and then readjust. And now forecasts may be a little bit more accurate in upcoming quarters. So the same thing is going to happen for you. So I hope that you commit to new, loftier goals, aim high, like Brother Robert was saying, and stopping, if you have habits that are getting in your way, focus on getting rid of those and commit to bigger and better things. Thank you, brothers. Join me on the Winding Stairs. I have a new episode coming tomorrow. And yeah, I'm telling you, this 2017, bro. 2017.
Crush it.
The windingstairs.com. Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, Juan. Jason.
All right. So yeah, recapping it, just trying to focus on the people in Lodge and the people in my family. That's really what I got going on this year. So just trying to divide out my time as best I can. You all and your fancy day calendars. I don't actually have one. I should probably do that.
Cool.
Maybe. But just wanted to say thanks for everybody who's watching, especially during the holiday season. We really appreciate you all sticking with us. So let us know what you want us to talk about, because we got some good topics coming up early next year. Gonna be a lot of fun. So check it out. We're going to have some really exciting guests. We're going to have some really exciting topics, and it's going to be good.
Thank you, Jason.
It's going to be spicy.
All right, Robert. Final thoughts.
So Mike the intern said, I thought this was only going to be 2 days a month. You know, that's probably something we should resolve, is that we should probably be honest with our candidates and people who maybe want to come to these things. Probably say, it would only be 1 or 2 nights a week, if we were, doing well with membership. The fact is, it's more than that, because we're fledgling in a lot of areas. Sorry to say. My final thoughts are that I caught the tail end of Jason's focusing on people. My thoughts on that are that is so key, that you have to form these connections with people. I mean, I just got out of a DDGM meeting where they really were stressing, like, tell your lodges that you guys can focus on the people more than the business. Yeah, have your business meetings, but have meetings outside of lodge, and like have fun with the people and connect with them, and make it what kind of people need to have, which is this connectedness to other people. We have these 6 million worldwide new friends as a master mason, and get to know them. And I really liked Jason's point about focusing on the people. Other than that, again, you pretty much just heard the tail end of my stuff. I'm not going to say it all again. You're welcome. If you like podcasts, Masonic ones, again, check out Whence Came You, 9:30 Sunday nights. And we're going to try to get, we've been kind of pulling back on the number of guests we've had, because we do have Frater O on every other week or so. And we're going to try to get some more guests on the off weeks, and hopefully that works out. I have been just kind of wild busy with DDGM stuff, and probably through May it's going to be a little crazy, because I have all the official visits to go do. So have some patience with me, and I appreciate it. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching this amazing show.
See, there's another reason why you need to go back and update your time map.
Yeah.
DDGM stuff.
DDGM stuff, yeah.
There you go. Good on you. Okay, as for me, bringing it home, I like a phrase that Juan used earlier in the episode, which is close the open loops. That's a good mental image for me, because it's all about opportunity cost. And I'm going to translate the budget conversation into your daily life. Now, if you had a bank account that filled up every day at midnight with $86,400, but trickled away to zero, you had to spend that money every day, and then at midnight the next day would start back up again. What you want to spend the money that you're given, it doesn't roll over, but you get to spend it every day. Well, that's exactly how many seconds you have every day. You have 86,400 seconds in a day. So take that, do opportunity cost, find out what's valuable to you, stick to it, crush it, make 2017 awesome. That's all I got. Thank you very much for watching, and keep searching for more light. Have a good night.